Seriously, you're looking for a Christ man, the one who anointed with the Lord, with the Spirit of the Lord, to do his will. I'm that nigga.
One West, 125th Street. Look, y'all put y'all faith in presidents like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all play cause y'all gon' make a money. Fuck Obama, he ain't come here on cargo.
American honor don't lack no soldiers. For the spirit of the Lord, we don't lack no soldiers. You understand me?
Like a saint, black, Hispanic, native, they hate y'all as the same. Hate Christ in they image, paint you as a slave. God ain't all love, scriptures say he hate African soft niggas, they know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in a cell toilet connected to the sink. Molested as a kid, she prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King dream. They just took the yoke off, my nigga, we ain't free. We living bleak in these wastelands of poverty. If you don't know the truth, then the lies sound promising. Prophecy, gift and the curse. Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, this shit is absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gon' work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the UPK, taught me the art of warring. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a run in Nashville when I found the truth. I called the school, classes being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. UPK the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's another religion. If it ain't under YAHANNA, Amy murdered by them and got a hug from YAHANNA. That's the way out for a coward in my observation. They don't fear the Lord, they indoctrinated. Wolves in sheep clothing, Joe Osteen. Real priest bringing back black royalty. One West on my headpiece, rank and order. Can't let them trick me off the streets, I gotta raise my daughter. I got brothers at the border ducking ICE agents. I got the name change, it was life changing. My family thought it was a game, put on all black, they said I was going through a phase. It's more of us in jail than it was slaves.
Aquí somos la Escuela Israelita del Conocimiento Práctico Universal. Hoy estamos aquí.
Lord Commandant General Yahanna, I.S.U.P.K.
I.S.U.P.K.
This is what Commander General Yahanna did. This is what he did.
First camp, I cut off all my dreads. I took an oath when that oil hit my head. Niggas capping like they lids. I'm a priest, I never stick no fork in no pig. I was dead till I found out how to live. This brotherhood taught me how to be a man. I came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're...
Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yashai Barakatam to all the brothers, Yahweh Shemal Athan Ba'ashem Yashai to all the sisters. I'm Prison Officer 500 Barak Yala with the I.S.U.P.K, which stands for the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant John YAHANNA. You understand, just like every Tuesday, we have our Brotherhood class, right? We learn how to love one another, who to love, who to hate, so on and so forth. It's so important in these times that we're in that we need to know how to love one another, how to get prepared for the harsh times that are coming, right? Because believe it or not, if you think it's bad now, wait till next week, till a month from now, till a year from now, right? Don't you see right now? Listen, the Lord is amazing, right? Y'all oppressing Mexicans and Latinos so much. Guess what's going to happen? You understand? You're oppressing Mexicans and Latinos so much. What happened? The Lord is giving you a plague. Y'all got a, what do you call it again? I forgot what's the name of the virus. Y'all got explosive diarrhea because you get that from lettuce, from fruits that the Latinos are supposed to pick. But since you oppress the Latinos so much, you know what? The Lord's like, I got you. You understand? That's what's happening right now. Listen, the war is back on in full effect. Trump said there's another war with Iran. He said blocking the Strait of Hormuz again. You know, what else is going on? Good night. The forest fires. Damn. The forest fires. Don't get me started on the forest fires in Canada. The forest fires in the UK. The forest fires in Spain. The forest fires in France. Listen, 2 days ago, y'all remember the forest fires had New York looking like a scene from an apocalyptic movie. Those forest fires from Canada. 2 days ago, the sky was orange in Montreal. The sky was orange throughout Ontario. It was bad. We just had a tornado warning. We never hear of a tornado warning in Montreal, ever. And guess what? It's happening right now. You understand? The topics of tonight's class is that so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, who are the real biblical Jews, guess what? We need to clean up the Lord's house before he comes to visit. You know, I know it's going to be a heavy class because you might have to make a part 2. Usually, I don't like doing that, but a topic heavy like that, we have to. The soul is going to be on a different level of importance to be in the truth. Not only to be in the truth, but to stay in the truth, to be steadfast, instead to be anchored down, to hone in. It's not going to be time to be weak. And if you have any moment of weakness, you know what you do? You call for counsel, man. That's what you better do. Because you're going to leave the truth. You're going to be at the mercy of every single plague, man. You'll be at the mercy of every plague, the mercy of every heathen. You know, the Lord will not have you in his bosom. He won't. That's why it's going to be a heavy class where, you're going to have to zone in. You have to focus and enjoy till the end. Matter of fact, let's get this first precept, right? Listen, any beef that you have with a brother, with a sister, it don't matter how small the beef is. You better squash that shit right now. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. Salakia. It's important to know who you are, because knowing who you are, you know that, again, there's hope, right? It's a beautiful thing to be in the truth. It's a beautiful thing to know the truth. You understand? It's wonderful. But guess what? Now that you know the truth, you have to focus on the truth. You have to want nothing but the truth, but the kingdom, because the Lord is coming. Probably yesterday, the Lord is sending Christ back to deliver his people quicker than you think. Matter of fact, let's start with 1 Thessalonians. Let's go there first. 1 Thessalonians and Romans, right? You're going to understand why it is so important for us to be in the truth, and to be in the truth and to remain in the truth. It's not for you. It's not time for you to be weak. It's not time for you to drop your sword. It's not time for you, Listen, if you leave in the truth, it's because you never wanted to be in the first place. It's as simple as that. You was never there. Because there's now one issue that you have that can't be resolved. You understand? You just never wanted to be there. Being in the truth, it's like, how can you put it? A lot of y'all treat being in the truth like it's a summer camp, like it's a club, right? You just go in and out. Listen, being in the truth, being an Israelite, it's not a club. One day you're Israelite, the next day decide not to be an Israelite. One day you're in the truth, you know, the next day you're not in the truth no more. It's not a summer camp. You can't just do as you please, right? You can't do that. A lot of us learned the hard way. You got to do as you're told, man. If not, you're gonna see for yourself. You know, you want to be disobedient. Listen, it was always about obedience. You understand? It was always about obedience. You got to do as you're told, man. Because when we do as we please, guess what? Guess what happened? We're delivered into the hands of the heathens every single time. That's what happened. You understand? You can't treat the truth like it's a summer camp. You can't treat the truth like a lot of y'all treat the truth like your old relationships. You have an exit plan. Listen, when you come into the truth, there is no exit plan. Being brought into the world, we're brought into the world, right? We're brought into this world, into this discussing society. Our exit plan is the truth. There is no exit plan. There is no plan B. If you have a plan B, if you have an alternative, which I don't like the word alternative. Alternative meaning that you have a different avenue to obtain the same goal, right? There's no such thing as an alternative to the truth. There's no such thing as a plan. If you have a plan B, you're already ready. You're getting yourself ready to come into the truth and to leave. If you're already thinking in your head, this is how I'm going to leave. This is how I'm going to make my exit. Hey, Shalom, don't even come in, man. You know, because once you're in, you got to lock in. You understand? You got to lock in because perilous times are at hand right now and worse times are coming. Let's go to the book of 1 Thessalonians. Let me share my screen. Let's get into these precepts. Salak, y'all, bear with me 1 second. Any questions, comments, y'all feel free to put it in the chat. We live on I.S.U.P.K. in Montreal, Toronto, IT, and Boston on YouTube, I.S.U.P.K. in Montreal and Canada on Facebook, and on Barak Yala, UPK on Bigo. Like, share, comment, subscribe, ask questions. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability, right? This is the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. Meaning what? Listen, those people, it was not for them. What we're about to read was not for them. It was not for this generation. You understand? It was our generation. As we see it today, all these signs that were prophesied, whether it's in the Apocrypha, it's in the Old Testament, Apocrypha, the New Testament, all the signs that Christ prophesied about when it came to the end of the world. You know, you're being told right now, yo, listen, but of the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. You don't need to break down. I don't need to tell you about these times because it's not for you. It's not for your generation. You understand? Listen, Christ just left. Christ literally just left. Right? Christ died, he came back, and he just left. He's not just going to come back right away. We are to teach it. We are to gather the 12 tribes together again. The Lord wants a certain number of brothers. He wants 144,000 of them. He wants to establish the governing body of Israel. Really, he wants all to come to repentance. It grieves him to see us punished. It grieves him to see us destroyed. But we have to wake up now, man. And he gave us certain indicators. Let's call it that, right? Certain signs as far as indication about Christ coming back. We have to watch for these signs, for these plagues, for these what y'all call natural disasters. Nah, man. These are signs of the Lord letting you know Christ is coming back. The Houthis, I think they just bombed Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia try to bomb them back, or vice versa. Regardless, you understand? Wait till they make the actual move on Taiwan. Taiwan is not off the hook. Nah. See, a lot of y'all are not paying attention. See, that's the problem. Well, and we're about to read that too, right? Some of the signs Christ told us about, because a lot of y'all are just enjoying the moment. Listen, I went with Officer Adiyar last week or 2 weeks ago? We were teaching class, right, at the community center. And guess what happened? You see everybody just going to the park, enjoying themselves, which ain't nothing wrong doing that. But a lot of them are oblivious to the time to everything that's going on. According to some of the Muslim doctrines, Islam will be in power. Some people think China will be in power. Some people think Russia will be in power. You know, not knowing that these biblical prophecies are coming to pass as we speak, right in front of us. Y'all still denying the Bible. Y'all still say the Bible is what you call it again? It's a fairy tale. Listen, fairy tales are fake. You know what's not fake though? Earthquakes in diverse places. You understand? Real quick, let's put a hold on First Thessalonians. I'm gonna show you something that is not fake, that is going on right now, that is undeniable. So undeniable, it literally changed your day. There are advisories about about the quality of the air. Bear with me 1 second. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 4. It says, a fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Y'all, listen, I think some Canadian cat died a couple days ago because he was trying to help extinguish some of the fires that are spreading from Canada to the U.S. Y'all can try to stop all these forest fires as much as you want. It's not going to stop. There's going to be more and worse fires. What do you mean? There's fires in Spain. There's fires in the UK. There's fires in France. There's forest fires in Canada. What do you mean? Y'all can have all the conspiracy theories you want about it, but that's the Lord. You understand? That's the Lord doing it. And that's not a fairy tale. The Tooth Fairy, I've never seen a little... Damn, I just realized the Tooth Fairy is a little white prostitute with wings. I never seen such thing come under my pillow to take one of my loose teeth when I was a kid. You know what I see though? A fire that is sent among you. A fire is sent among you. Who may quench it? That I see. A SHALAM Izan Yahweh Shebrakatah, Mosai in Christ. You understand? That is real. There's been a few earthquakes throughout the planet Earth. I remember I have made a clip about the earthquake in Japan on New Year's, like 2 years ago. Some devil told me, well, it's Japan. It happens all the time. Guess what? It happens damn near every month. There's an earthquake in the Caribbean. There's earthquakes around Montreal. There's earthquakes around Canada. There's earthquakes around the U.S. There's earthquakes all over the planet. That is not a coincidence. That doesn't just happen all the time. You know, show me where in the fairy tale it says something will happen as described in the fairy tale and it happens in real life. Show me that. You understand? Because I'm showing you biblical prophecy, something that was told will happen. And you know how a prophecy is true? When it happens. Like Deuteronomy 28:68, when the Israelites would have been brought to captivity by the way of ships. Guess what? We were brought to captivity by the way of ships during the transatlantic slave trade. You understand? Native American Indians were the first one on slave ships. Matter of fact, Salakia, Taino Indians were the first one on slave ships. Then it was Native Americans. Then all the Mayans and the Incas, everybody went through slave ships. That happened. Prophecy about us losing our culture, that happened. Prophecy about our family structure being destroyed. You can't tell me blacks, Latinos, and Native are not Israelites. I mean, you could, but you can't prove it. You understand? Let's get back to 1 Thessalonians, man. First Thessalonians 5:1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. Why? Because that's for our generation. You know, it's for our time, and we're seeing everything happening during our time. Verse 2. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. They know. They were told already. Christ said it. Christ told the disciples, yo, what is it? The Mount Olive, I think. We're about to go over it anyways. He told them, yo, nobody knows but God himself when I'm coming back. Nobody knows. I don't even know when I'm coming back. Listen, I'm just waiting on the order. Just know when the order comes, hey, shalom. That's what you need to understand. That's why, imagine, okay, let's put it like that, right? You see how we all know how does a thief in the night comes to your house? Unexpectedly. Treat it like this, right? Treat it as such when you come into the truth and you endure till the end. You seek counsel when needed. You go to a brother or sister alone. You understand when they offend you. You seek counsel if y'all can't resolve the issue, right? But see it like that. Hey, shalom adam yabasha shrakatha. See it like for those, you know, I know for myself. Have you ever seen a surprise quiz? You just get quizzed randomly. You're not expecting it. You know, imagine when you get raided by the cops, when you get raided by the DEA. You don't expect it. You understand? What else? What else is which just comes unexpectedly? You know. Today there was in my city, right? Because we just had the forest fires and it calmed down a bit. Today we had a little storm. Listen, while I'm at the slave, the power of my building on my whole street shuts down. You didn't expect that. You know, that's how Christ is going to come back. Out of the blue, you know what happened? The lights went off. My AC was off. The power was off in my whole street. Hey, shalom, says Yahweh. That's how Christ is coming back. When you don't expect it. Therefore means what? The title of the class says to clean up the Lord's house before he comes visit. Why? Because you don't want him to come visit the house that we built for him. You don't want him to come visit the house, his temple, his house. You understand? His children. Like, okay, let's put it like that, right? You see, when your parents, when you were growing up, I know what happened to me and my siblings. My mom said, yo, she's leaving for work, or even on the weekend, she's leaving to go do whatever the case is, right? Groceries or whatnot. I'm like, Mom, she said, I want the house clean when I come back, or else. You understand? Well, what happens when you don't clean up the house? Right? You get reprimanded. You get punished. If you're a Benjamite, Azan is in the building. I know if you're Issacharite, you get the chancla. If you're a Benjamite, you get the beating of your life. Like, what do you mean? I told you to clean up the house, just let alone wash the dishes. You know? What happened when you don't? Listen, you're in trouble. That's what happens when you don't. You're in trouble. Why? Because it could have cleaned up the house, man. And that's just a spiritual aspect of it. Because physically, it's not about keeping your house clean. There's no dust anywhere. Of course, if you're a clean person, you're going to clean your house. You're going to mop the floors and things, right? But it's about your spirit. It's about you as a person. You understand? It's like a junkie. When they're clean, it's not because there's no dust on them, because they're not doing drugs no more. They're not living a filthy lifestyle. And that's what it is. We need to make sure the house of the Lord is clean. You understand? Because when he comes visit, you don't want him to come back to the house and it's still a mess. You don't want him to do that. Because why? Because you're gonna get reprimanded. And the Lord's chancla, hey boy, the Lord, we got captivities after captivities when we get hit by the Lord's chancla. That's what happened. We get reprimanded by the Lord, and he don't like it. He said, what is it? Judges, I think 10 and 16. You know, it vexes him to see his children punished. Just like any parent would be vexed. Like, yo, what do you mean? My son is crying. He's going to tough it out because he needs to be reprimanded. I told him, son, he ain't going to listen. You know? So no sweat. I'll make sure he remembers the punish. He remembers the time that he couldn't play the Xbox for 2-3 months. I'm going to give him a... Listen, especially us. Sadly to say that our parents took it to another level because of slavery. But a lot of us got beatings that we remember till this day. You know what's the beating that we remember till this day that the Lord gave us? Chattel slavery. Captivity. Egypt. It's in our records. And he keeps mentioning it. Matter of fact, scratch Egypt. You know why? Because Egypt, we didn't sin to go into Egypt, right? But all the captivities that went through at the hands of the Moabites, the Babylonians, all the other nations, because we sinned. The kingdom got split because we sinned. You know? That's why. So now that we're cleaning up the Lord's house, and Most High in Christ, you know, for that spirit to be brought back to our people. Most High in Christ for men like commending General YAHANNA and all the generals, you know, to raise up our camp leaders to help us to have us raise this nation for the Lord, to be able to sweep all that filthiness that accrued over centuries, over more than a few decades. Most High in Christ for the men above us, man. You know why? Because now we're the sibling. We're big bro. We're the sibling that's cleaning the house, so that when our parent comes, you know, we don't get reprimanded again. You understand? We don't. Let's keep reading, and then we'll jump to Romans and 1 Peter. Any questions or comments, y'all put it in the chat. If I skip a few or I'm not seeing them, feel free to put them again. Aizan said, I remember get a flat tire and it ruined my whole day because I didn't have a spare. Good night. Listen. Listen. Watch this, right? We are the spare. We are the spare tire for the people. Grace is the spare tire for the nation. Christ was the spare tire. You understand? He didn't have to be the spare tire. He was, though. That one tire carried a whole nation. Like, you know what? He didn't even want to die. He said to the Lord, yo, if I could pass this cup, because I don't want the responsibility. But he did it. Christ was selfless. That's what we have to learn. We have to rehearse the righteous acts and practice on being selfless and do things for other people, for our nation. You understand? Become selfless. You're not going to be perfect. When Christ said, be ye perfect, right? You're not coming into the truth. Oh, just I'm a new person. I'm never gonna make a mistake ever again. I'm not gonna make one mistake. You're gonna make mistakes, but don't use that as a justification to make mistakes. Don't do them on purpose. Don't be like, yo, I'm young, so I'm gonna be forgiven. No, don't just avoid making mistakes, but it's gonna happen though. Because to be perfect, you have to become perfect. You understand? It's a process. That's why we rehearse the righteous acts. What is it to rehearse? It's to practice. Every day, practice brotherhood, man. Check on your brothers. Listen, go over these precepts. Come to class. Ask questions. Practice brotherhood. Practice sisterhood. Every day, raise your kids as such. You don't have to break down to your kid, yo, when they're 18-year-old or whatnot. Yo, if a brother offends your sister offends you, go to them and them alone. You raise them to do that all the time. They know it. You see how the law is in our inward parts or whatnot? They know what they know not to be a sodomite. They know not to be a prostitute. Now, before we get back to the precept, right? Growing up, my mom used to tell me, have critical thinking. They're gonna be able to analyze everything with universal, practical knowledge, which is going to be their base of the critical thinking that they have in the world, especially in the world that we're in. They know it's going to be wrong when they go to school and the teachers tells them about gender fluidity. I think that's the term they're using today. What the hell is a gender fluidity? Just go with the flow? What is that supposed to mean? You understand? Today, I seen a video of this white lesbian. I don't know what other word to use. She said that she feels disgusted about the LGBTQ community. Mind you, she's a lesbian. Why? Because they're labeling pedophile as minor attracted people. It's a real thing. Y'all look it up. It's a real thing. Well, our kids in the UPK raised the way we raised them, according to the law, statutes, and commandments, according to our foundation, which is the Bible, which is our record, our constitution. You have to worry less about your kids being influenced. Why? Because they have that solid foundation that is not of the world. What Christ said, though y'all be in the world, be not of the world. Our children, the children we're raising, the men and women that we're building up, right, coming out of the world, they're being raised with this knowledge and wisdom of the Lord. You understand? We have less to worry about now. You know what? I ain't gonna argue about my woman about, she wanna wear a two-piece bikini at the beach. She knows not to show her nakedness. I ain't gonna worry about my daughter growing up talking about my body, my choice, so she get like 15 abortions. She knows not to commit murder. You understand? We have less worries, but even then, I'm saying this like it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy though. But we have less worries when it comes to growing up in the truth, becoming a new creature, having a solid foundation where there's no cracks, there's no stumbling block, there's nothing. The only stumbling block you may have because you still have something in the world that you're attached to that you don't want to let go of. You understand? And Christ said this, you can't have two masters. You can't serve two masters. You're going to have to pick a side. You're going to have to let go. Because imagine, right? And then we'll go back to the scripture. Salaki, if I'm long-winded. Imagine like you see the movie Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. He's in front of the train and he's holding the two, he's trying to slow down the train. He's holding on one side, on one hand, on the other hand, he's got the spider webs. Right? Now he's going to have to let go of one of these webs. I'm talking about you. Imagine you're above, like, what's it called in English? A precipice. Damn. a cliff. I forgot how you call it in English. The point is this, right? If you hold on to one side, you have no choice but to let go of the other side, because what's going to happen if both sides are pulling you? What happens then? What happens when both sides are pulling you? Anyone can answer. What happens when both sides are pulling you? I'm going to give y'all 30 seconds because I've been long-winded. I'm trying to get back to these precepts. What happens when both sides are pulling you? Just picture it in your head. And yeah, I have so many precepts. We're going to definitely do probably part 2 next week, because we have the Midwest Fire weekend coming up, and it's so important for every brother and sister to come into the truth and to be steadfast and to be anchored solid in this truth. What happens when both sides pull you? That's what's going to happen, right? Don't think you're going to be torn apart. You're not. You're not being quartered like the times of slavery. That's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is that you're going to have to let go. It's going to be inevitable for you to let go of one side. It's going to be inevitable. Either you're going to let go of the truth because you hold on to the world, or you're going to let go of the world because you hold on to the truth. It's just, that's it. You know? Now you choose. Nobody can force you to do anything. It's always going to be your choice. You understand? Just don't make the wrong one. There's two choices. There's a wrong one, there's a right one. I pray you understand. Ain't no gray area. But let's get back to the precepts, right? 1 Thessalonians 5:2. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Yo, Christ is coming back when we expected the least. And he already said he's not coming for, hugs and kisses and chocolates and flowers. He's coming with a sword. When he comes back, his vesture is going to be like it's dipped in blood. That's what it says. You know why you don't know that? Because your Christian pastor do not read that to you. Because the slave Bible took most of the damn near 80 to 90% of the Old Testament out, and probably about 70% of the New Testament. It talks about the salvation for a specific people only. You understand? To keep you subservient. Christ is coming they removed the Apocrypha where it says Christ is coming back in the middle of World War III to fight everybody and save his people. That's him coming to visit the house of the Lord, man. Imagine that. The Lord is sending Christ as the inspector. Like, all right, no sweat. They're ready. Go check them out. Who's ready? Scoop them up. Who's not? They still want to be in that filth. They still want to be homosexuals. They still want to be drug dealers. They still want to be prostitutes. I don't want my house to be dirty. My house is spotless right now, right? I don't need my house to be dirty no more. So we're going to get rid of the bad apples. Pick the good fruit. The bad fruit that are rotten, we get rid of them. But the Lord also says he wants all to come to repentance, right? He wants all the fruits to be picked. He wants all the fruits to be good. Keep that in mind. Let's keep reading. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. The moment you think, you know what, everything is cool again, right? Just like at the end of COVID, they say, yo, we're going back to normal. What happened after COVID? Ukraine was bombed by Russia. It's going to calm down a bit. It only escalated. All of a sudden, what else? Israel invaded Palestine. No, listen, however it went. All of a sudden, listen, overnight, right? Slovakia. What did you hear overnight? Overnight, you heard Israel bombed Iran. You're like, damn, y'all could at least give us a warning. Don't be surprised tomorrow you see Taiwan has been invaded. Another African country just ended a conflict and siding with Russia or whoever. Don't be surprised, man. Listen, when you expected the least and you think, everything is cooling off a bit, all of a sudden, a bomb drops right next to you. Let's keep reading. As travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. What does it mean? It means like when a woman is ready to give birth, she don't have her waters breaking on the schedules. It's not like, I'm getting ready for my brothers for my waters to break. No, it just happens. That's how Christ is coming back unexpectedly, like the water of a pregnant woman breaking when she's about to deliver. She could guess when she's ready to deliver. They could give an educated guess, right? Today, with modern day technology, they'll give you an educated guess. Back then, there was no educated guess about, you know what? You're 13 weeks pregnant. You're this amount of days and weeks pregnant. Your waters might break tonight. Waters might break right now. Give it about 10 minutes. Ain't no giving about 10 minutes. The way that we observe time is with these signs. Even when, we have the Passover coming up in our high holy days. The next one I think is, let me check. There's a memorial of blowing of trumpets. We observe the moon cycles. There are signs. It says the moon is given for us for signs and seasons, right? We observe the moon cycles. We see different signs. Christ talking about war, rumors of wars, earthquakes. We just read in, 2nd Ezra 16 about the fire and all the plagues. Listen, I told you the beginning of the class, there's a plague that is affecting y'all like never before. Why? Because y'all hate Mexicans. Mexicans picking up these fruits for y'all, these vegetables. The Lord said, no sweat. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to plague you with explosive diarrhea that you get from lettuce, that you get from fruits that the Mexicans would have picked for you. But you decided to oppress them even more than you already did. It wasn't enough to steal the land, but no sweat, I got you. You know what I'm going to do? You're going to get explosive diarrhea. I think, let me get the term. I forgot what's the term of it. I'm going to give you the exact term for that. They call it a virus or whatnot. Bear me 1 second. It's called the Cyclospora cayetanensis. That's what it's called. Look it up. It's everywhere in the US except 8 states. It is in Canada now as well. And guess what? Canada oppresses the people that work in the field. Who are those people? Latinos, Benjamites, Jamaicans, Trinidadians. Yeah, that's what you get. Now those fruits that you enjoy making your smoothies with, they give you explosive diarrhea. You understand? You can't get rid of that parasite. It's not deadly yet. But believe me, it's not. Damn, I don't think it's pleasant at all. I don't think it's pleasant at all. And it causes what it says. It could cause high fevers or significant vomiting. Hey, Lord be with y'all, man. Which he's not. But he is with the Mexicans that who are supposed to pick these fruits that you decide to deport. You know, he is with these Guatemaltecos that you decide to deport when they're supposed to pick the fruits that today you will eat and get the parasite. What do you call it again? The Cyclospora cayetanensis. That's what you'll get. You understand? Bear with me 1 second. Let me go blow my nose. Salakia. See y'all, John Muhammad. I think he said it. Yo, was it on Monday on the show? Yo, it's hot over here with these forest fires. You gotta have the AC running damn near 24/7. You'll be with a cold and summer, you know. But let's get back to it. Let's go to verse 4, right? We'll probably read till verse 9. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 4. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. You understand? You got to be prepared, man. You got to wake up. And that's where I was trying to bring you, Salakia, earlier to Romans chapter 13. Because we got to come up out of that darkness. We got to be aware of our surrounding. We got to be aware of the times that we're in right now. You know. And when we cleaning the Lord's house, guess what? We're not sweeping any dust, any filth under the rug. We're making it clean. We're taking out all these spider webs. We're mopping the floor like it's shiny, like it's a newly built. It's literally a newly built house. You understand? That's what we're doing. You know. Because we don't want to be reprimanded. Listen, you don't want to start cleaning the house, even coming back to clean the house when your parents come back, right? You don't want to do it last minute. The scripture says, tarry not in seeking the Lord. Because the moment you're in comfort, hey boy. As a matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Is it Ecclesiasticus? Is it 7:5 or 5:7? Ecclesiasticus chapter 5, verse 7. It says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord. You'll come to the truth right now, man. Like, imagine that. You claim to believe in the Bible. Even those who come in the truth and then you leave because you probably just want to get high, or, you know, you have too much ego into being wrong, or maybe you're right in the conflict, but you feel like you don't want to go to counsel. For whatever reason, you don't stay in the truth, you know. But you know the bombs will drop. You understand? You know death is coming. You claim to believe it, but you leave the truth. Damn. Or you agree with everything we say, but you won't come into the truth. Why? Because you want power, you want rank, or you just say, you shall see in the last days who's right and who's wrong. Listen, so I don't even want to argue with people no more. I really don't. I barely do it. You understand? I mean personally, I don't understand all the art. What's their argument about not coming to the I.S.U.P.K? You see what these other groups do out there. It doesn't bother you. No sweat. Shalom. I'm gonna just say, all right, no sweat. I leave it at that. You know, I'll just leave it at that. Oh, you believe everything the Bible says? Oh, it's talking about nuclear war. Damn. Oh, this is what happened. Well, what will we do when the famines happen? Oh, we need brotherhood. There is no brotherhood. I see you guys have brotherhood. These other groups don't have brotherhood. I wonder what we're going to do. Stop wondering. You already have the answer. You know what's the problem, though? You're enjoying that last cigarette of yours. It says, Ecclesiasticus 5 and 7, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. That last cigarette should have been your last cigarette yesterday. You still need to enjoy another blanto. You know. I was watching class from Captain Mashat. A lot of y'all are going to tell others to not join the UPK. Why? Because it's too strict. They tell you can't smoke weed. You know. You can't just sleep with anyone you want. You have to leave white women alone. You understand? You can't eat pork. You know what? You stop eating pork. No, so guess what? You can't eat tuna. You can't do this. You can't do that. You have to do. You have to abide by the rules, which is what we do. We abide by the rules. You learn from the mistakes of our forefathers that didn't abide by the rules. But no, you won't do that. You want to enjoy your last prostitute. Then you get AIDS and you die. It says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord. Don't wait. You should have done that yesterday, man. And put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. You want to just do when you're ready. We're reading about cleaning up the Lord's house before he visits it, right? The whole day. And it happened to me and my brother too, right? The whole day, yo, we're like, yeah, we're going to clean up the house. We're going to do this, do that. Yo, guess what? We started cleaning the house. At some point, my mom used to call us. Like, yo, I'm on my way. Like, all right, let's hurry up. Boom, 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 right? And we still faked it. We put things, like I say, we put things under the rug. You know, we barely clean the house properly or whatnot. But guess what? Sometimes she wouldn't call. Sometimes she would just show unexpectedly. Guess what? Christ's going to show unexpectedly, you know. And that's when you're going to be like, yo, wait a minute. Everything these crazy niggas were saying on the street, talking about World War III, you know, famines, this and that, right? You know what? Man, they're all right. Matter of fact, let's crash that. It's not about us being right. That's what the Bible says from centuries ago. From thousands of years ago, this was prophesied. We didn't write the Bible. We woke up. Where the Lord said, my sheep heard my voice. We heard the calling. You understand? And we're telling you the same, like, yo, hey, you know you're Israelite. You know these Latinos were the same people. These natives were the same people. This is the tribe of Gad. This is the tribe of Benjamin. Boom, whatever the case is. Now that you know the truth, go teach it. But I'm lazy. Lazy? So you're not going to help me clean the house of the Lord? You're not going to help me keep it clean? As opposed to helping me keep it clean, and what you do, you're the nigga you're the sibling that stay on the couch. That as I'm passing the broom, you know what? You leave more crumbs. I just passed the broom. Our father is coming to, you know, he's sending the inspector tomorrow. Yo, listen, soft things, man. You know, it's just a few crumbs. Yeah, those few crumbs is your cigarette ashes. It's not a light thing. You understand? Those few crumbs is you as a sister not covering yourself up. It's not a light thing. You know, what you think is a light thing is really not. Guess what? I'm gonna put you out the house, and I'll make sure the house is clean. We'll make sure the house is clean. You understand? If you want to be like the others outside, you be like the others outside. You know what? Stay outside. Over here, we'll make sure the house is clean. You could come back though. The door is not locked. You can come back, help us clean the house. But we're not going to wait for you to do it. Because when our Father comes back, the house is going to be clean, pristine, like it's going to be shining. You understand? Because we don't know when he comes back. We know when he does, we don't want to be reprimanded because there's still filth in that house. You understand? Damn right, Isaiah. Can't be like a lazy child. Right? You can't be like a lazy child. Lazy child, you know what lazy people do? Lazy people think they could cheat on a test. They could cheat on a quiz. Ain't no cheating with the Lord. Ain't no cheating. What are you going to do? You going to stop eating pork when Christ comes back talking about, I ain't eating pork no more. Nigga, I can smell the bacon on your breath. What do you mean? You understand? You talking about, yo, I just had sex with this woman. I ain't leaving her. She's about to leave you the moment you pay her. Because you slept with a whore. Because you love prostitutes. You think you're going to cheat Christ? You think you're going to cheat God? Yo, you know what? I love my brothers now, man. Listen, I'm siding with these Mexicans and whatnot. You know, Mexicans are about, yo, we siding with the blacks. Y'all still gang banging. The Lord comes, y'all be like a lazy child cheating. Just wait till the Lord comes and pretend like, yo, I helped my sibling clean the house. You see the dishes? I did that. You ain't did nothing. You watched the dishes dry. That's what you did. You were outside the whole time. Doing what? Playing with these heathens. Being a disgusting, filthy being that you are right now. So like, bear with me 1 second. Good night. You understand? That's what you did. You gonna take a credit for it? No, it's not gonna happen. You know the Lord sees everything, right? It's not like your parent that don't know nothing, and you're gonna have to rely on the sibling that did all the cleaning to snitch. No, the Lord sees everything. He knows you're a hypocrite. He knows you're not cleaning the house. You're not even in the house to be able to clean it in the first place. You know what's gonna happen? Because you're so comfortable not being in the house, just being at the beach half naked, smoking a blunt, drinking. What do people drink on the beach? Pina coladas. I had my first one in Ecuador. It's not even that good, man. Come on. What else people drink on the? Who cares what they drink? You're just being a filthy sinner. It don't matter whether you drink or not. You're just being a filthy sinner. That's what's gonna happen when you feel so comfortable doing what you're doing because you're having fun, you know, because you're happy. What's the G word for happy? I'm being facetious, by the way. You know, what's the G word for happy? The second letter is an A, and do not ask me why. Ecclesiasticus 5:7 says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. Because one day, Christ is going to knock at your door. Like, yo, Wagwan, y'all still eating chicharrones? Y'all still, there's still a cross on your neck? Y'all going to be taking a cross on your neck with the quickness, throwing it away like the East Indians did during COVID with their gods, or putting it in your pocket or whatnot. Y'all are still murdering each other. You're gonna pretend like y'all tending to each other's wounds when y'all know damn well they were just shooting each other a second ago, not trying to patch each other's bullet holes that you put in a brother's arm or chest or whatnot. Come on. Oh, you still that's a new man now? Yeah. What about him? Because I know you were with him like yesterday. So you mean to tell me you were with a man yesterday, now with another man today, but you're keeping that man from today, not the one from yesterday? What is going to be your explanation? Listen, you get the point, right? Let me keep reading. And thy security shall thou be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. You're going to die. That is the reprimand, the punishment that's going to happen when the Lord comes check up on his house, man. check up on his kids. Like I told him, yo, y'all just come back in my good grace. You understand? Y'all just come back, man, and I got you. Yo, the whole premise is about getting back what you lost since Adam. Since Adam, that's it. You know, all you have to do is one thing: just obey. Clean the house. Make sure it stays clean. Don't pollute it. Love one another. That's all I'm asking. I ain't asking for nothing else, just to obey. And you dare ask me for something when you won't even do what I asked you to do? That is crazy work. So, let's get back to 1 Thessalonians 5 and 4. Matter of fact, no, let's go to Romans real quick, right? Chapter 13, verse, what does it say? Verse 11. Romans chapter 13, verse 11. You understand? It says, and that knowing the time. Why? Because we have observed the signs, man. We see the signs. Listen, blacks, Latinos, and native, you know, we're just, listen, we're so destroyed, we just refuse to fight. Well, you got to fight that drug, man, that's keeping you asleep. Got to fight it. You got to fight that feeling that it's time to wake up when the alarm rings, but you're putting on snooze. That snooze button is the weed you smoke. That snooze button is those whores you won't let go of. That snooze button is every single disgusting, filthy habit that you adopted from these filthy, disgusting heathens. Just read it again. Romans 13 and 11. And that knowing the time, meaning you know what time it is. You see, hey, listen. You see, when we greet each other, that's how you know it's a nigga book. When we greet each other, say, yo, you know Wagwan. You know what time we'll be on. What the Mexicans say, ya sabe, you already know. Right? You know what time it is, man. You know it's time to wake up. You know it's time to leave the church. You know it was never a time for you to be a homosexual. To get the point. You know it's time for you to stop piling up bodies. Now you're realizing, yo, that talk about slut walking, what they call it again? Not the summer girls. Damn, what's they call it again? The slut walking, I forgot. Being sexual liberation, whatever other term they use, right? You know it's time to not be that. You know it's time for you to stop the foolery. It's time to get it together. You see how blacks are oppressed. You see how Latinos are oppressed. You see how natives are oppressed. You're realizing, yo, it's time for us to gather together, man. Like now it's a viral movement. They call it a viral movement. You understand? Being an Israelite, you have Israelite this, Israelite that. Yo, I remember when I was coming to the truth, maybe there were other groups that I'd never heard of, right? But now, damn near every week, you hear of a new branch of Israelites somewhere. There's like they're trying to make this like the Christian church. You understand? That's what they're trying to do. You know, you find out the truth about Islam. You realize, yo, Malcolm X yes, he was trying to fight white supremacy, but Islam was not the way. They had us as slaves. You realize that the church is full of crap. It's full of lies. You understand? You realize that you should not vote. You know what time it is. You know, let's keep reading. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. You know it's time to wake up. But you press the snooze button. Because once you wake up, you know you got to put on all black. And as a sister, you got to cover your head. You know that. Listen, you know how many people quote what we say on the internet all the time? Like they don't watch classes, but we know they do. I remember this old tape. Waka Flocka would walk up to the camp. Captain Kapash checked the hell out of him. Years later, what happened? He went into us to the club and he big up Commanding General YAHANNA, man. Yeah. You know what time it is, right? It's time to cut those dreads. Put on all black if you really want to make a change in the community. You understand? They know what time it is, but they refuse to do what they have to do. It's like when you have to wake up, the alarm is buzzing, the alarm is ringing. Even when you press news, even when you get up, you know, you refuse to do what you're supposed to do when you get up. You wake up, it's like, yo, man, I got to take the trash. Listen, sometimes I wake up, I got to go slave. Sometimes I have to walk my dog. You know, when I wake up, she's been waiting to relieve herself. You understand? After a long night, you got to do it. What I'm going to do, not do it, and then she makes an accident or defecates on the floor. Come on, man. You got to do it. Don't matter if it's in the middle of the night. It don't matter what time. You got to do what you got to do. What we got to do is come to the truth. Just come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. Is gather together, O nation, singular, not desired, and hold on to it. You understand? Christ said, he that is saved endureth till the end, right? Damn, give me one with Salakia. Salakia. Boy, this is not funny. You understand? That's what we got to do, man. Endure till the end. Let's read it from the top again. Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. Listen, our Father is sending Christ tomorrow. Make sure your house is clean, man. Because you think, what, they're 15 miles away. I think it's probably 300 meters by the house. About to crack the sky open. He's unlocking the door as we speak. And you're still on the couch smoking the blunt. I think it's time for you to put the blunt down and never pick it back up again. You know, matter of fact, I don't think. I hate to think. Don't think. Just know. Just do as you're told, man. It's time for you, as we were told, that it's time to wake up. Why? Because Christ is coming back yesterday. That's why. It's going to be sooner than when we believe. You might think the war going to be prolonged until somehow someone uses some minor nuclear weapon. Now it escalates even quicker. It's like, damn, I thought I had more time to stop smoking. I thought I had more time, one last Christmas. I thought I had more time to enjoy whatever people enjoy in the world. Listen, sometimes I don't even understand no more how they enjoy whatever they enjoy in the world. You understand? Let's keep reading. Verse 12. The night is far spent. Salakia, let me get the comment real quick. Aizan said, Salakia, I think some people don't come into the truth because they don't want to pay tithes. It's not just about tithes. Listen, people go to church and still pay tithes. It's not about tithes. Because when you come into the truth, you're going to have to pay tithes like you do in the church. You know what you can't do when you come into the truth? You can't sleep with children. You can't sleep with prostitutes. You cannot commit adultery. You cannot be a whore and a homosexual transgender pastor or whatever I just said. I don't even know how that makes sense, right? But that exists. There are transgender pastors. The whole congregation is a whorehouse and a rainbow club. You know, they molest all the kids. They still pay tithes. It's not about the tithes, Izan. It's not. It's about their lust. It's about, you see, you see the term sexual liberation, it's about their lustful liberation. You could drink, but you can't be a drunk. You can't be a drug addict. Drug addict, they go ahead and they go to church, they pay tithes, believe it or not. You know what you can't do? You can't hate Mexicans. You can't hate Latinos. You cannot hate Haitians and come to the truth. You cannot be a hypocrite. It's not about the tithes. It's about being held accountable. Listen, it's really not about the tithes. They pay tithes in the church. They pay, what is it? I forgot what's the name. I don't think it's the jizya tax. I think there's another word for it in the Muslim mosque. They also pay. You know, it's not about paying. They really don't give a damn about that. They're just sinners, and they want to be hypocrites. They want to keep saying Christ died for my sins, so that my sins, the sins that I do right now, have already been forgiven for. They want to remain filthy, disgusting sinners. You want to remain what, Izan? You said it earlier. What did they want to be? You said it. Scroll up. You said it. You said what you should not be. Come on, man. You said it earlier. What do they want to be? And it's not the G word, even though that too. What do they want to be? Think about cleaning the house. You know, not getting up in the morning, even though you know it's time to wake up. You know, what do they want to be? For time, yeah, exactly. They want to be lazy. That's it. They don't want to do the work. You know, ties, no ties, it don't matter. They don't want to do the work. They want to be lazy. You know, they don't want to clean the house. Yes, the house is filthy. They want to sweep everything under the rug. They want to be lazy. You know, you just pretend to serve the Lord. Meanwhile, you're in the house of Satan. That's it. You're just lazy. You don't want to fight. You have to imagine that. You have to fight every day, right? And don't think when you come to the truth, it's gonna be. You're definitely gonna do a part 2 of the class, man. Shit, damn. You understand? Don't think coming to the truth is gonna be easy. You gotta be able to get yourself ready to fight, right? So, like the whole book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2, one of my favorite ones, is about when you come to serve the Lord, you have to prepare for temptation. That whole second chapter of Ecclesiasticus talks about preparing for temptation and being strong. You understand? Being strong in these dark days. That's what it's all about. You know, y'all go through the chapter if you want. We're probably gonna touch on it next week or whatnot. But you don't have to be strong in the church. You don't have to. You don't have to fight demons in the church. You don't. The church is full of demons. You know what you do? You join other demons. You know, who birds of a feather flock together, right? That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna join other demons. It don't matter whatever demons they got. It don't matter because they're homosexuals. It don't matter because they're prostitutes. It don't matter if they are a serial killer. You're going to join them because you want to be comfortable. You understand? You're okay with comfort. You know what's not comfortable? Having to get up, having to pass the broom, having to make a bucket full of water, put the soap or whatever cleaning product you use. Some people use vinegar to make the wood floor shiny and thing, with some lemon drops, right? You have to burn incense. You have to wash the walls. You have to clean the fridge. Nah, man, what about just sweep all the dust under the couch and it looks clean, man. It's good. All glitter and gold, man. That's it. Y'all just lazy. Y'all don't want to fight. Y'all just lazy. You don't want to have to fight the demons. A lot of y'all don't know how to fight, but a lot of y'all, you're just going to have to stop being the disgusting person that you are. It's easier doing it. It's easier. Falling is easier than climbing a rope because now you have, listen, it's too much spiritual exercise. It's too much. You don't want to lose that wicked weight that you got. You understand? That's really it. Forget about the tithes. They'll pay tithes and still smoke a blunt. You understand? Let's get back to it. Now let's go to real quick. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17 for time's sake. Bear with me 1 second. What I say, 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. Salakia. 1 Peter 4 and 17. Let me put it like this. There you go. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God. Listen, the Most High is going to deal with us first. Who's us? Those in the truth, man. That's why you got to make sure, you're on point. Always. Imagine he dealing with us first. He's making sure, my house ready? Is everything in order? Why? Do you see how it says in Revelation, 21 and 2? I think when Jerusalem is brought like a bride to the groom. What is a bride has to be prepared, has to be ready to be joined to her groom. You understand? And the house has to be ready because if we are to be the next world that will abide forever, the next kingdom, that's what I was looking for. The next kingdom that is to rule forever. We have to be on a solid foundation, man. We have to know how to operate flawlessly. That's why Christ said, be perfect. Perfect is where flawless. Doesn't mean you don't have a chip tooth. Doesn't mean, your hair grows all the same length. Nah. That means you don't sin. That means you go to a brother and a brother alone when you have an issue. It means you go to counsel if you can't resolve the issue. You understand? That means you rehearse the righteous acts. You practice them. How? Because you do them all the time. That's how. The Lord is going to focus on us first, man. You're going to judge the house first. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God? What about those outside the truth, man? What about them? We keep doing what we're doing. Tell them, come to the house to help me clean up. You know, let me make sure it's perfect so that our father don't complain about nothing when he comes over here. When he comes to visit, let's make sure everything's in order before he comes to visit. Before he sends the inspector, let's make sure everything's in order. Right? Before big bro comes back, because yo, Christ is big bro, man. Christ is big bro to make sure, yo, yeah, let me see if everything's in order over here. I got you. You know, he's gonna make sure everything's in order, man. You understand? Verse 18, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, what does it mean? What does the word scarcely mean? Matt Clark said, keep up the good word, truly enjoy your teaching. Hey, Mosai in Christ, Shalom, Yabashin Shebrakatha. And make sure you click on the sign in and sign out link, man. Come help, make sure the house is clean, brother. You know, Mosai in Christ. What does the word scarcely mean? Let's look at the definition of the word scarcely. Bear me 1 second. What is the word scarcely? Let me share my screen. Scarcely is an adverb meaning almost not, barely, or only just. Damn, listen. You know, you don't want to use the word lucky, but yo, you see when it says make your election sure. You got to make your election sure. That's what it says. What in First Peter, I think. Where is it? Is it in First Peter? The point is this, man. Scarcely is that you barely made it. You understand? Imagine that. You know, a lot of us deserve death, right? It's only due to Christ and to grace that a lot of us are not dead. You know, imagine us that barely make it because we held strong to the truth. Now, what about those who don't come in the truth? What about those that leave? You know that happens, right? You know, say they are with us probably because they never was, because you wouldn't leave. Christ said, enjoy till the end. You understand? That's what it means, scarcely saved. They barely made it. You know, they barely made it. Where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Yo, be glad that you barely make it, man. Be glad and make your election sure. Make sure, like, yo, you have this moment of weakness. Let me call for counsel. Let me not listen to myself and say, yo, you know what? I had this moment of weakness, so let me light up a blunt. No. You know what? Have your camp leader phone number on speed dial. Not your drug dealer. Listen, y'all call the weed man more often than your camp leader. You have a problem, man. You have a problem. You understand? Let's go to what Christ said. Matthew 24:13, Christ said, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Endure till the end. And the end is near. It's closer than what we think. You know, I don't know if a lot of y'all don't pay attention to the news. I know that for a fact. I know. Y'all don't pay attention to the news. Y'all don't pay attention to current events. Y'all don't pay attention to nothing. You know. Some of us do. Not because we're conspiracy theorists. No, you know. Some of us always pay attention to the news. Some of us are able to see or watch for the signs that Christ prophesied about. Those wars, those plagues, those earthquakes in diverse places. I'm like, yo, damn. Christ is coming back. We better fix up now. You know, some of y'all do exactly what people were doing during the time of Noah, which is not care about a damn thing and party every day. You know, marry. We know sex is marriage. That's what a lot of y'all do. Let me see if I could get, for time's sake, Matthew chapter 24, verse 37. Matthew chapter, Salakia. Chapter 24, verse 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Which is what? We just read it. Nobody knows. Everybody thought we were crazy. Everybody thinks we're crazy. They're just partying, they drinking, they're having sex left and right. That's what they were doing in the time of Noah. But just like the flood came unexpectedly, so will Christ. Verse 38, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. There's going to be a day you're going to look for us. You're like, yo, where are they? You understand? Salakia. There's going to be a day and it's like, damn, these crazy niggas maybe are not so crazy. Maybe it's time for us to stop all that partying. Yeah, you know what? We already read that. It's high time for us to wake up and stop going to these functions where all manner of sin happens. You understand? Let's keep reading. Verse 39, until Salakia, and knew not until the flood came. They see Noah going up on the ark like, this nigga is crazy. Ain't no flood. He really believed. He built the whole ark. You know, we see all the animals, clean and unclean beasts going up in the ark. You really think it's going to rain 40 days, 40 nights? You really think there's going to be a flood? Yo, we ain't listening to that. We're still chilling. We having a party, you know? And y'all having orgies left and right. Until you see him going up in the ark, and then you're like, yo, it's starting to rain and it's not stopping. Maybe he was right. You know what happened? The ark gate is closed. The doors of the ark are shut, and he's not opening them again. And knew not until the flood came and took them all away. Yeah, there's a day where you're going to find out that, yes, Christ is real. He's coming back, and he's coming back black. And his garment will be like a vesture dipped in blood. You understand? So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Let's jump down to no, we're right here, verse 40. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken and the other left. You will see that what we're talking about is real. When Izan will be taken up, and his co-worker right next to him is like, damn, this nigga really went up in the sky? Yes. Yes, because why? Isaiah make sure the Lord's house is clean, man, spotless. You know, he made sure of that. Because brothers and sisters will make sure that their house is clean, man, spotless. They make sure of that. It's gonna be like an astonishment, like, yo, what did I just see? Yeah, you understand? Believe it or not, that happened during the time of Noah, anyways. It's just going to happen again. I mean, the indignation is not going to be by water no more, man. The Lord says he's not destroying by water no more. I pray you understand. Real quick, for time's sake, bear with me 1 second. Let's go in the book of 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13. Is it 1 Peter? Yeah, 1 Peter 1 and 13. It says, wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind. When it says gird up your loins, I mean be ready, man. Gird up your loins of your mind and be sober. Doesn't mean you can't have a drink, but it has to be vigilant. It's like saying, a sister asked a question in class today in the scripture breakdown to Captain Karate about being sober-minded, right? You see what the definition of being sober-minded is. I'm not sure if y'all could see. Let me see if I could zoom in. I know y'all can still hear me though. Let me see if I can remove the logo for a second. Being sober-minded means having a calm, rational, and sensible disposition. It describes someone who makes well-reasoned decisions and remains clear-headed, especially under pressure, rather than being easily swayed by impulsive emotions or external influences. Beyond everyday language, the term frequently appears in theological and philosophical discussions. In religious texts like the Bible, it refers to maintaining spiritual alertness and moral integrity while avoiding the intoxication, quote unquote, of worldly distractions, toxic emotions, or ego. So, it's not talking about necessarily alcohol, but you cannot be a drunk. Why? Because when you're a drunk, you're not going to be level-headed. You're not going to be able to make well-reasoned decisions when you're an alcoholic. You understand? When you're high, forget about it. Do I really need to explain to you that when you're high, you can't make good decisions at all? Do I really need to explain to you that? And hope to the end for grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. Give me one moment. Isaiah said, Salakia, I don't mean to go off topic, but I can get a breakdown. Genesis 2 and 21, when the Lord put Adam in deep sleep. Trouble explaining that. Let me see what it says. Bear with me 1 second. The deep sleep is not a literal sleep. Let me see. And it says, and the Lord caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs, closed up the flesh instead thereof. Yo, listen, Izan, man. This is one of the old. Let me see if I still have this this precept right here. I might have to refresh my own memory during the Jeremiah scripture breakdown. I ain't gonna hold you, but let me see if I got you. Bear with me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. Now, you know what? I'm gonna just ask for you in the general class. Yeah, because I have the breakdown somewhere. I need to jog my memory, so I'm gonna just ask for you in Jeremiah's class just now in the next 20 minutes. But I got you. Let me just write this down so I don't forget. I got you though. Where were we at again? Where are we at? Bear with me 1 second. And what precept were we at again? To be sober and prepare. Yeah, let's go to Proverbs. Let me see. What time is it? 6:40. About to end the class anyway, but let's go to Proverbs chapter 6 real quick before we end the class. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 6. Let's start at verse 6. Right. I in the bar act, water to you. Salaki. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 6. It says, "Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise." Why? There is I don't know if you'll have this in America or in English, right? I'm gonna tell you right now. Well, y'all have it under a different name. We call it la cigale la fourmi, right? The translation you have in English is the grasshopper and the ant. The proper translation, though, would be the cicada and the ant. Why? Because for you to understand this, you lazy kids who don't want to clean the house, watch the ant. What does the ant do? The ant prepares. The ant stores food. The ant gets ready for what's to come, right? That's the whole story about the ant and the grasshopper. While the grasshopper, really, which is a cicada, sings all summer and do not get ready for what's to come, for the hard times. It's like you do not get ready for Christ coming back. You just drink, smoke, marry, and give into marriage. We get ready in the UPK. We get ready. We practice brotherhood every day. We perfect brotherhood and sisterhood. We fix our household. We fix the individual, to fix the marriages, to fix the household, to fix the community, to fix the people, man. You understand? That's what we're reading about, being prepared. Go to the end, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise. This is a twofold scripture because you got to be wise in everything. And don't just prepare for Christ coming back. Just prepare in general. Which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, talking about you, sluggard, right? Salaki, provided her meat in the summer and gathereth her food in the harvest. Listen, the ant get while you and I'm referring to the, what's it called again? The grasshopper and the ant, right? Pretty sure that's where they get it from. The Bible, like everything else. While we get prepared, you know what the ant, you know what the grasshopper does? It just chill all summer. It chill all fall. When winter comes, you die because you didn't get prepared for winter. You didn't get prepared for winter to knock at your door, which, if you know, I don't know how about it is it in DC, but over here, winter comes earlier than expected. And sometimes it lasts way longer than it's supposed to. You know, Christ is going to come back like Canadian winter. Earlier than expected. We just read that. Damn. But you know what you will do? You will not prepare for him to come back. You just chill and smoke a few more blunts before a nigga king cracks the sky open. And you'd be like, well, I'm too high for this shit. Maybe it's time for me to put the blunt down. Imagine a lot of y'all gonna be like, I'm too high for this. The day Christ comes back and cracks the sky open. But you could not say that weeks ago when you were supposed to stop smoking weed yesterday. Good night. Imagine that. You understand? Salakia. Get one more precept before we end the class. We're going to save it for next week. Yeah, let's get that one more precept and then we're going to end the class. Let's go to Yeah, let's go to Ecclesiasticus real quick. We're probably going to go over it again next week anyways. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 2. I wanted to get Isaiah 13 about the day of the Lord. Ecclesiasticus chapter 2. Start verse 1 to 3, and then we're going to end it. Ecclesiasticus chapter 2. Again, the whole chapter is about enduring. It's about not letting go. It's about holding on to the truth, man. Is it the book of, what is it again? First Ezra chapter 4, where Zerubbabel say, yo, women are the most powerful thing, but the truth is the most powerful thing. Listen, women have so much power. You lose your mind of a woman. What did James Brown said? This is a man's world, but it will be nothing without a woman or a girl. Yeah, women are powerful. You don't even understand how powerful they are. Trust me. You lose your mind. Solomon messed up because of women. What do you mean? You know? Solomon messed up because of women, man. Women are powerful. But the truth is strong and it abides forever. What does that mean? Matter of fact, let's get that real quick, right? We're gonna go in First Ezra's, and then we're gonna end with Ecclesiasticus. I think it's First Ezra's chapter 4, or it could be Second Ezra's. It's one of the two. Yeah, first Ezra chapter 4, we're gonna go to verse 38, then Ecclesiasticus, and we'll end the class. Salakia. First Ezra chapter 4, verse 38. Just, probably make a whole class about it. Long story short, brothers are presenting to the king what is the strongest thing. Is it the king the strongest? Is it alcohol the strongest, or women? Right? They'll give their explanation. The king is not, alcohol is not. You know who is? The woman is the strongest. After Zerubbabel gave the whole breakdown about women being the strongest, he said, but yeah, the woman is the strongest. She's stronger than the king. The king will go to war. Men lose their wits for women, kings included. Solomon is a perfect example. Good night. Adam lost his wits for a woman. You understand? But there's one thing that's stronger than a woman. The woman is unbelievably strong. But there is one thing that's stronger than the woman. First Ezra 4 and 38. Ask for the truth, which is your first wife. That's that woman that will never leave you. You understand? And what did I say earlier? Between hanging on to the truth and hanging on to the world, you better let go of the world. You know why? Aizan, why, when the truth being your first wife, why should you let go of the world and not the truth? Before I read your comment, why should you let go of the world and not of the truth? The truth being your first wife. Why? Let me see if Aizan studies. Why? Why should you let go of the world and not of the truth? Your truth being your first wife. Why? Come on, Aizan. I'm gonna give you like a minute or so. We're about to end the class. Why should you never let go of the truth? Her being your first wife. Why? I'm there giving you the answer, right? That is true. The truth sets you free. I'm going to give you one more try. I'm giving you specific keywords, right? Why should you never let go of the truth? You're letting go of it or not. But why should you never let go of the truth? With the truth being your first wife. You have multiple ribs or not, who knows? Some men are men of one wives, but God has other plans, right? It's like, don't ever quote that. The point is, why should you never let go of the truth? The truth being your first wife. The truth being your first wife. I don't want to provide you the answer for time's sake. So I'm going to give you a few more seconds. Most High in Christ. Hey, give a hand to Isaiah, because you can't put away your wife, lest it be for fornication. We know the truth is not committing adultery on you. You understand? She's going to be loyal to the end. You understand? That's it. Precept, divorce is unlawful already. You understand? I think also you could use Malachi chapter 2, verse 14 and 15. I'm just giving you that. Was the wife of your youth. Yeah, that's the truth, man. Right? That's the truth, man. You understand? You should never let go of the truth, because you should never let go of your wife. You can't. If you are as good as an adulterer. That's what you're going to go back what? To the world who is a prostitute, the world filled with filthiness. You see how it's talking about Babylon, the great whore, and it says, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, that be not, what's the word again? Victims of her plagues. I'm just paraphrasing. Sleeping with a disgusting, nasty, filthy whore. She's full of diseases. She's full of AIDS and monkeypox. That's the world. But that rib that will never let you go, that is not a prostitute. You understand? That fruitful possession that endureth forever. That's the truth, man. That's the truth. She is not filthy. She is clean. You see what? Damn, Salaki. You see what it says when we read it in Revelation? Revelation, what is it? Revelation 10, I think. Is it 10? Let me check real quick. Salaki, for time's sake. Revelation 10, verse 9 to 11. When you eat that book and it's sweet as honey, that truth, that truth's sweet. She smells good. She tastes good. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, she bitter though, because she shows you what's wrong with you. That's why, for her not to show you what's wrong with you, you have to change the person you are. The point is this, right? Don't let go of the truth. That's your wife, man. If you let go of your wife, you're an adulterer. Hey, Most High in Christ, the water to you, God. The water to you, carnal, man. You understand? The water to you. But the point is this. That truth is that woman that will never leave you. Zerubbabel said the woman is stronger than the king, is stronger than alcohol. But a woman, guess what? She will leave. She will die if she doesn't leave. She's going to nag you every day. You understand? Or maybe not. Maybe you have a righteous woman. She's still going to be an emotional creature, right? You know what's not? The truth. That first wife of yours, she's never going to leave you. She's always going to be by your side. You understand? It's a lock you. First Ezra chapter 4, verse 30. Let me be quick for time's sake. As for the truth, it endureth and is always, not sometimes, is always, not 99.99%, and is always strong. She's 100%. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. Let's say you do have a wife or multiple. That would never leave you, Most High in Christ, but they will still die though. They're going to come back, be born again, and die. That truth, not only she doesn't ever leave you, but she lives forevermore. The truth can't die, man. You understand? You better not leave that wife. You better not leave that prizeful possession. you better not leave that woman. That truth. You know, yeah, it's bitter. It's bitter to the stomach, but she tastes good. Don't ever leave her. You understand? Let's go Ecclesiasticus 2, and then we're going to end it. It's Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. You're going to be tested. You're going to be tempted. And don't see tempted as, I don't want to use the word tested, right? See tempted as being vexed by something. You see how you could tempt an animal, right? I go to the zoo. Animals are tempted all the time. It don't matter if it's a protective glass. They're tempted to snatch that, whoever is behind the glass. For them, and when I'm talking about animal, I'm really talking about like predators, like lions, hyenas, or whatever, right? They're tempted. It's not just a test. You're not testing them, but you're pushing them to act a certain way. You're pushing them to act on their I don't want to say lust, because animals, it's not like what's instinctively, in their natural instinct. That's them. When it comes to you, you're being vexed into lusting and committing a sin. Because a lot of us there. Listen, man, you walk outside all the time, you see a bad broad, man, like, damn. I'm kind of vexed, man, because she's walking outside like that with, pum pum shorts and things. It's like, yo, nah, I ain't gonna do it. Nah, I ain't gonna do it. I thought about it for a second, like, nah, I can't do it. Whatever lust you have, especially coming out of the world, and a lot of us have, we had issues like with certain addictions, for example, smoking weed or whatever addiction, not necessarily a drug, right? Some brothers are able to kick a habit faster than others, but some of them is harder, or more difficult. Pause. Why? So the smell of marijuana may trigger something like, or someone coming like, yo, you want to hit that? And they're passing you a blunt. Someone like, yo, you know what? Matter of fact, I'm good. I'm all right. No, I'm chill. Again, drinking is lawful, but being an alcoholic is not. You might have an alcohol problem. You're being invited to a party knowing you don't smoke, no sweat. Listen, there's an open bar. Your brethren, he's telling you free drinks. It's on me. Free drinks. Get whatever you want. It's like, maybe I ain't going out tonight. Maybe I won't. Maybe not. You understand? Just you sisters, right? Have friends in the world. They like to go to the club and have their whole phase. It's a real thing. They have a whole phase, apparently. Apparently in the world it's a must. You must have a whole phase. But you're seeing them either acting like, well, I don't want to say acting like whores. They're whores anyways. Why? Because either they don't have a man, for obvious reason, and they're just being really promiscuous, or they have a man they're cheating on. And you're around them. Now they're trying to not feel as bad because they see that you're better than them, because you have a man that you will not cheat on, that you will not leave. You understand? You don't even talk about your marital problems to them no more. They're trying to tempt you like, yo, girl, come to the club. Let's have some drinks. These niggas ain't shit. They tell us how to dress our bodies and whatnot. You're like, you know what? Maybe I ain't going out with you girls tonight. Maybe we could do, listen, you don't even want to be around them, to be honest. Cut them off, man. But it's always going to be something that makes you feel like, yeah, you're gonna have second thought, like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't. Oh, she bad. Yo, where's your father from? Oh, you're not Israel. But you don't know, she might pass for one, right? It's like, yo, should I, I'm just a man at the end of the day. Nah, no. don't do it. As simple as that. You're gonna be tempted. Why? Because family reunion. You ain't see your family in the longest time. Your brethren might come out of jail, or some cousin that you ain't seen in 20 years. The first thing he does is like, yo, we go to the strip club. Yeah, I'm actually happy you're free, but no, I'm not gonna do that. No, I can't, man. I can't. Listen, when you come to serve the Lord, prepare for temptation left and right. It don't matter whatever you deal with. It don't matter what tempts you. You're going to be tempted. It's going to happen. But you have to say no. Yeah, I keep saying one last precept, but we're going to go to verse 3, right? But the reason I say I keep saying one last precept, because what you could use is this, especially for brothers who think they might have a weakness, right? Is Ecclesiasticus 20:21 and 2, where it says, flee from sin as from the face of a serpent. The moment you're tempted, you see about the sin, treat that like a serpent, which is a dangerous animal. It don't matter if it's venomous or not. It don't matter if it's a boa constrictor, an anaconda. It don't matter if it's a python. It don't matter if it's a viper. Just treat it like danger. Turn around. Just say no and run. Flee. You're gone. You don't want it around you. For if thou comest too near it, it will bite thee. If you come too close to sin, you like, every time you're tempted by that blunt, like you know what? At some point you're taking it, like, no, you don't. Shit, I'm gonna give it back to you. Don't even take it, because at some point you're gonna take it and bring it closer and closer to your nostril, like, yo, just for old time's sake, right? Just don't do it. Flee from it. From the moment someone gives you a blunt, no, I'm good. Keep walking, man. You understand? You hollered that bad broad. Yo, where you from? Oh, she has a man. Shalom, sis. Oh, she doesn't have a man, but she's a heathen. Oh, no sweat. I apologize. Sorry. Have a good day. That's all you do. There's more women than men in the world. You're gonna find another bad broad. Whatever temptation you have, there's a moment like you feel like a moment of weakness. You about to touch the blunt. You say, nah, hey, I'm good. I'm gonna keep walking. I got some study to do. Go home. Tune into class. Sometimes I walk around, I don't even put Spotify in my earbuds. I just play class. That's gonna help you fight, man. Let's finish this and go back to Ecclesiasticus 2, right? The teeth thereof are as the teeth of a lion slaying the souls of men. It's dangerous. That's the point. It's dangerous and it will hurt you. Flee from sin because it's dangerous as a dangerous animal, like a serpent, treated like a viper. It's as dangerous as the teeth of a lion. Yes, imagine a viper. You know how small a viper is? Imagine a viper with the teeth of a lion, man. You think the venom is bad enough, boy. With the teeth of a lion, the lion is bigger than these spikes right here I got on these armbands, man. You know that. That's how dangerous sin is. Just say no and flee from it. Get back to Ecclesiasticus 2:1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Listen, Christ is coming back, man. Prepare to be tempted left and right, but endure until the end. If you need help, make sure you tune into class. But if you need help, you seek counsel. There's a plethora of men above you, but just call your camp leader. He's one phone call away. That's the cheat code. People in the world don't know they don't know they have a camp leader. You do. You have his number. You know. I know you know. How do I know you know? Because you have to check in. That's how I know you know. From the moment you're a young man or a sister come into class, you check in. You get oil poured on your head. If you don't have a man, you still check in with him. You have a man, you check in with your husband. You know, don't make it an issue for you to check in, because you know why? You check in with a white man. Don't make it seem like you can't check in with your camp leader when you check in with the white man. You understand? Verse 2. Set thy heart aright. I mean, prepare, man. That's what it means. Get ready. Because when the fight comes, it's like what you call it again? A fighter, professional. Matter of fact, it's like FIFA. You just have the World Cup. You know what these players do? They get ready. That's what they do. They train. You understand? They train, they get ready physically and mentally. Likewise, when you come to serve the Lord, you have to get ready. You know, set your heart aright. That's talking about your mind. You have to be prepared for temptation and be prepared to fight that temptation. And constantly endure. Constantly meaning you keep doing it. You don't let go. You don't stop. You do not give up. That's what it means to constantly endure. Something constant is continuous. You understand? And make not haste in time of trouble. I'm going a bit fast because for time's sake, right? Meaning, don't be quick to just give up in time of trouble. Like, yo, I just lost my job. I don't know what to do. You panic and you go back to selling drugs. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to get arrested. You're going to go to jail. So you're going to get deported. You're going to die in jail. You probably have beef in your home country. You're probably going to die. Your camp's going to get a phone call. Collect call from such and such. You could have prevented that by calling for counsel, right? That it's just one phone call away from not going to jail, right? You know that. I know you know. You just decided not to do it. As opposed to saying no to sin, you said no to counsel. As opposed to saying no to the wicked, you said no to the righteous. What's the common denominator? You made the choice. Again, you let go of the world or you let go of the truth. Just make sure you let go of the one that's wrong and hold on to the one that's right. You understand? Last verse, and then we'll continue next week, right? Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 3. Cleave unto him. You see when I said to not let go of the truth? It's easier to fall than to climb with a rope. You see you remember when I said that? To cleave unto something is to be attached to it, to hold on, to never let go. Don't let go of your wife. Don't let go of the truth. Don't let go of the Lord, man. Cleave unto him and depart not away. Meaning, don't leave because you have an argument, because you're stressed, because you don't know what to do. A lot of you don't know shit. It's a lock you. And you should not be thinking for yourself. Matter of fact, it says in the Bible, don't think for yourself. Don't take your own counsel. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart. And seek counsel from the men of the Lord. That's what you should do. That thou mayest be increased at the last end. You understand? You cleave unto him and you never let go. Right? You never let go. You endure it till the end. With that said, we're going to end the class right here. I'm going to get a security announcement. Y'all tune into John Muhammad Scripture Breakdown. Isaiah, I'm going to ask you a question in class, right? On I.S.U.P.K. One West online classes. The Scripture Breakdown will start just now. We'll continue part 2 next week. The water for everybody who tuned in. I'm Priest and Officer 500 Barak Yalla. Make sure y'all click on the sign in and sign out link. Salakia. In the chat, if you want to join to the school, right? Obtain your Hebrew name and all the benefits that come with it. With that, I'm going to get a security announcement, and we'll see you next Thursday, Israel. Shalom. The I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department a teacher, priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming Holy Convocation, we have the Memorial of Blowing of Trumpets, which is the first day of the 7th month, Friday, September 11th, 2026. You can read more about it in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24 to 25. Reminder to Alakim or Aquatium to check the bulletin board in the hallway of their school if they have a physical location. And if anybody wants to be a trooper in the school to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, husband, and scarf, well, that's how I give a courtesy salute to the brothers and a courtesy salute to the sisters. Menavija Imajam, which means to stand. We'll give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Menavija Imajam Shabbat. Imajam, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Brakatam, meaning Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai bless y'all. Yajamata, which means hands down. Sar, which means to turn. Turn and for the sisters. We'll give them a courtesy salute as well. Menavija Imajam Shabbat. Imajam, Barak, Yahweh Shemar, Lathan Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, meaning Yahweh, watch over y'all in the name of Yahweh Shai. Yajamata, class dismissed.
We have a gift that nobody can see, that was handed over to us to do something amazing. Take the gift, man. Take the gift. Take the gift, man. And let the Most High work in you to do something you have never done.
I ain't even impressed what you expect. You see this shit? Hold on, there's one West on my chest.
One West world. That's it.
Fuck a street code, let a priest love. No stain, break dang with the leash off. I ain't nothing of this world, I need a respawn. I just know they wish that I would stop, but I keep going. These fringes on my calf like a tube sock. I used to stuff the loose ones in my shoebox. And we came a long way from the curbside. Now we looking from the top from a bird eye. And I can't leave my brother on the battlefield. Lord, let the hell rain, we gon' see who real. And you know they gon' hate when they see a plate. So imagine what they doing for $250,000. And we really the only ones going to war. You niggas just be talking like y'all won the war. I made love to this truth and there's no divorce. My Spanish mommy call me Poppy like a corner store. Let me show you how to do it. City living by the word, I think it's time he proved. I think you better use your head before you fucking lose it. And save the acting for the camera, this is not a movie. I pray to God I don't fall off. I ain't nothing like y'all. Niggas think they slime, cut their head off a python. Blame me for my outlook, never counted the lookouts. The world said I wasn't shit, but look how I turned out. Not so bad, huh? Why you mad, huh? We go hard, but go harder for the have-not. Listen, when that oil hit your leg, then you can't stop. Your feet better hit the ground running, this shit bedrock. Man, we tried to put him on, but he sleep. Waking up the people, that's the job for a priest. Hopped out the wheel, fringes swinging like a pendulum. You heard of the tribes, where the fuck you think they get it from? Look, I'm a soldier, get the order, then I get it done. Got some big shit to split the water, make these niggas run. Why you hurt? If I told the truth, then I showed you love. Let me prove it, wanna move right, let me show you how to do it. Let me show you how to do it. City living by the word, I think it's time he proved. I think you better use your head before you fucking lose it. And save the acting for the camera, this is not a movie.
Don't step over the line though. Everybody, anybody, it's up for everybody. And that's I got bigger fish to fry. I got people to save. I ain't even on a rap, so I already beat the rap shit.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.